But okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to All In on Real Estate. I'm your host, Aaron Goins. And I started this meetup because when I was in the military, no one in my circles talked about real estate. They talked about thrift savings plans, they talk about debt, they talk about stocks and bonds. And a lot of times people deploy, you see a lot more dog charges and pickup trucks on the road instead of appreciating value items like real estate. So I started a meetup to help people out for them to learn real estate and hopefully build generational wealth for them and their families. So I am very, very excited for my guest speaker right here. He is well known, especially in the current community, and one of my basically my first, I would say one of my first mentors, one of the first people who really that I talked to in real estate. So what's up, Keith? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for coming on the meetup.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for putting it together. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here and I'm glad to help.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, man. And also, I just want to say we are part of this meetup is part of the GOB network of apartment investors. So if you guys want more information, please get with me and we can talk about the GOB at the end of this meetup. But let's get started, man, because I think that you're gonna add a lot of value. You've always added value to me. You helped me out so much um, in the space, and then also um, I want to talk about the lifestyle that you have gotten because of it. Because I think that it's not only real estate with you, but also your fitness, your regimen, what you do. That's really impressive me because I mean, there's people who are successful in real estate, but the things that you do really impress me because it's not just one thing; it's a whole realm of things, and then also your commercials you make, your on link on Facebook that I see and things like that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So let's talk about let's see, why did you start getting into real estate? What attracted you to real estate?
Oh man. I don't know what attracted me to it. I always wanted, I don't know, like I was a kid, but I still saw like the potential, right? Like you why pay rent when you could, basically put money in a savings account. But not, anyways, I didn't get into real estate for a long time because I just thought the barrier to entry was way too high. I grew up a poor kid in a single wide trailer in a trailer park. Like we didn't have money. I was the first person to actually end up going back to school. But yeah, I always wanted to get into it. It just took me a while. I actually met a guy at school that was flipping houses, and I literally like started working for him for free, basically like 5% of any deal that I brought him, like for a while, just to kind of learn the business.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. It's funny. It's when you hear people how they started. I mean, I remember like for Grant Cardone, he talked about his first place in St. Charles, Louisiana, and how that he was struggling to pay rent, mortgage every month, and then seeing where he came from, and just hearing like from your backstory, just hearing that, man, just inspirational, man. Because I mean, basically you started from nothing, when you started, and was making breadcrumbs, and now here you are, big time wholesaler, and not only in one state but twice, in two, and then also on the Carrot website. So I think that's awesome, man. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm definitely blessed, right? Like I could have done anything else if I wouldn't have. I'm not like self-made though, right? Like I don't know. There's all kinds of little things that happened in my life that got me to exactly where I was to be able to make those decisions, and I worked hard, but yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I'm super blessed to be where I'm at because I could have ended up in 1,000 other places, like all the 1,000 other kids that grew up in my neighborhood. But
right,
yeah.
right. Um, so you are the first wholesaler that's been on this meetup. Mostly I've had people talk about multifamily or other entities like that, but you're the first person I had as a wholesaler, and it's for a reason too, because of the impact you had on me. Um, but why did you get into wholesaling first?
Well, well, first off, I started by investing in some flips. Like I was working real hard. I was screen printing for like, and I started my own company. I was screen printing. I had a pretty good gig, like a contract with Fred Meyer. So I was doing like but I was saving my money, going to school, screen printing, And I met a guy that was flipping in Texas, and he was doing like 2 or 3 deals, you know, houses, and a good deal came up, but he didn't have the cash to get that 4th one. And I was like, well, I have some money saved, and I like basically gave him like almost all my money to like buy this house to invest in this flip. And I was nervous as hell, but you know, boom, I got a return on it. And then I did another one with them, and then another one, and I'm like, man, this is cool. I could learn, you know, and then I'm just learning everything I can about real estate, and this thing popped up called wholesaling. And I was like, what? I was like, Pedro, what's this, wholesaling? And he was like, oh, Keith, I tried that. It didn't work. Like, blah, blah, blah. I just flip houses. And I'm like, I don't know, hold on, let's see. And I just, you know, got a house under contract that month off of a Craigslist ad, and I sold it the same month for $5,000. You know, it wasn't like a ton of money, but it was proof of concept. And you know, a couple months after that, we got I started a website. I got a really good lead on a website, and I got a house. We got it under contract. We flipped the house. It was a big 4,000 square foot house in like South Texas. And it's all staged, real nice, listed, and a huge flood comes through, floods the whole property. All this staging furniture floats to one side of the house. The oven's full of water. Like, we had to flood cut the whole thing, like on a nice rehab. And no one even wanted to buy in that neighborhood now for like a year, just because the stigma of the flood. And so we had to hold on to it and lease it. And luckily we didn't have hard money, or we would have been screwed. But that was like seriously like the last house I flipped. And I've just wholesaled houses ever since.
Right. A little bit easier, a little bit less stress, right?
Less stress, less overhead, less contractors, less moving parts, less, you know, financial risk. You know, there's just like, yeah. You know, I leave a lot of money on the table, leaving, you know, for the investor, but I can also do like 7. I've done 10 deals in a month before. I'm doing 9 this month, and life is still good and it's easy. And yeah, I'm leaving my, you know, meat on the bone for the next guy, but that's the name of the game, right? Like,
right.
if you're going to be a wholesaler, to it, you know, you have an obligation to, or you're serving the seller and the buyer, not yourself, like, really. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, when we first met, I met you at a RIA group, you know, and I'll tell you this, the reason why I got my duplex was because when we met at that bar, one of the younger guys kept on asking me, "Hey man, why don't you use your VA loan? You're in the military, why don't you use your VA loan?" I don't know. Why? So why don't you use it? And he kept on pestering me the whole night about it. And because of that meeting that you invited me to, that led me to buy my duplex. So,
Awesome.
you know, yeah. So, I mean, you know, but it took somebody like that guy, you know, so much younger than me, but he really caught my attention to things he was saying. And, you know, that's what turned me to using my VA loan. And now I'm really a big advocate of that, because only like 15% of all veterans use their VA loan.
Really?
Yeah. So
I'd be using, send them my way. I'll help you put them to work.
Then I heard a stat today that only 20% of all veterans use their VA benefits to go into college. You know, so
That's
you know,
sad.
it's you know, we had to do a better job of making sure people know their benefits, you know, and resources. So, you know, and that's something that I'm really going to advocate in, and I'm really advocating about the VA loan. But you know, when I learned about college, 'cause, you know, I'm a college graduate, I use the VA. So you know, I use the VA, the tuition, to get where to get my degree. So that's something I'm really going to advocate as well. But what was your, so you know, you said you're going to have 9 deals in the month of June, but what was a big advocate of it? Because I think as a wholesaler, and I mean, you've had this talk before, you got to be resilient because you don't get a lot of no's. So what makes your resiliency with you as far as getting a phone call? You might be at a certain point with somebody and talking, and then you get to the point where the person says no. What makes you so resilient to go to the next person and eventually get deals? Because I mean, a lot of times you're gonna get a lot more no's than yes.
Really, I tell them no. I say, like, I left an appointment like an hour ago, and I told the lady, I said, really, the only thing holding you up here, the only thing stopping a traditional person from buying this house is your roof. Your roof is, it's a 24-year-old roof. It's a 20-year-old roof, but it's been there 24 years. And not just the roof of the house, but the roof of this huge barn. It's big for horse property. And I said, honestly, if you guys have the money to put the roof on, like I always tell people, you're gonna get more. Like, I'm like a last resort. I'm like so don't use me unless you have to. If you could, call some friends, get a loan, pull out home equity, something, you're going to be better off. But, last resort, I'm just letting you know, like I could pay $340 for this. It's going to be $525 plus fixed up. But, so I left all the cards on the table and I said, I think she's going to go with me. Honestly, I didn't get a yes yet, but I'm pretty sure. So I don't push for the hard sales. And that's why I get so many positive reviews. And like, I'm not looking for someone. So when you're trying to get a house at a discount, I'm not looking at the property, and you're looking at the problem. I mean, I know she can't get a loan. I know that she's unemployed, her husband's on disability. Like, they're not going to be able to pull it off. But I say you should, but as a last resort, here's an offer. It's a good offer. We can close on the day of your choice, but I'm not pushing them that way. I'm pushing them towards get it fixed. Like, I want you to get fixed. I want you to put more money in your pocket. Like, right. Cash offer has to be lower because I got resale cost twice. Like, I wish I could give you more. I really do, man. But this is kind of where I'm at. And, she was so thankful. Like, even after, like, yeah, anyways. But another thing that helps me is I do a lot of inbound marketing, right? So I spend money to get my message out there. And then the people that get my message, like, I need to sell my house for cash, or, we buy houses, sell my house fast. Like, they have a problem and they call me. I don't even talk to people unless they have a problem. Like, if they don't have a problem, if they fill out a form on my website and they're just like, oh, I want to move in like 3 to 6 months, I'm just curious what you would offer, I'm not even going to call them. I'll send them I'll send them to an agent, and then the agent can close them for a listing, and then I get a referral fee. And I do that a lot. So I don't, and you're right, like, I don't like being deflated. I don't like being told no. I got soft skin, like, honestly. And that's why I like did everything I could not to cold call. Like, I hate cold calling, especially single family. If it was multifamily or something, I'd have no problem, because it's just it's a different dynamic, right? Like, it's a business to them.
Right.
But yeah. So I wish I had a better answer to your question, but I don't like being told no. So I just talk to the people that really need me. And if they don't need me, if they don't have a problem, it's not the property, it's their problem. Like, as an investor or a wholesaler or whatever, I'm a problem solver. And if there's no problem, why am I here? If you just want to see if I'm better than an agent or you're going to get more money, you're not, but if you need to sell your house fast, or, you should definitely call me.
Right. Absolutely. So I know you was talking about how you're outbound caller, wholesale and stuff like that. So I think one of your biggest strengths is Carrot. The Carrot is been essential in your success. And that's why you've been on so many Carrot podcasts and Carrot camps and things like that. So can you just tell everybody the advantages of using Carrot and how it's helped you in your career?
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know, Carrot's like they build websites, or they have websites that are basically like pre-made for investors and agents and investor agents. And what they do, basically, they spend a lot of time, money, energy, resources to have them optimized for conversion, which is very important. But having a good website, and then you still got to put work into it, but you have you put work in your website, it will raise you up in Google rankings, right? Like, so like a search engine optimization. So if you Google something like sell my house fast in Tacoma, I'm number 1 on Google. If you Google sell my house fast in Seattle, I'm number 1. Sell my house fast in Spokane, I'm number 1. And so like I get traffic from that. And then so when people are like, I got a lead today in Lacey from a hoarder post, how to sell a hoarder house in Washington State. I'm like, hell yeah, they're calling me because they have a hoarder house. Those are my people. I don't want to cold call 2,000 homeowners just to see if one of them's in distress. I want to talk to 5 people and close 3 of them, which then gives me the lifestyle, like you were saying in the beginning, like that I want. Like I would want to cry myself to sleep if I cold called 2,000 people a day. But talking to 5 people and having them tell me that I'm a blessing to their family and I helped them out so much and they're crying and hugging me, that makes me feel good. I feel like a bottom feeder if I'm like cold calling a bunch of people all day. Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
I love your strategy, man, because I think a lot of times you think wholesaling, you're thinking about calling a whole bunch of people, needle in a haystack, and you finally find somebody, or you put and I'm not saying you don't do it because I know you do, put the signs everywhere, and hopefully somebody will give you a call because they see a sign, sell my house cash fast, or for money. People see it all the time. I mean everywhere we go around here I see it. It makes me smile.
They work.
Yeah, they do
work. If you put those signs out, and those are literally my cheapest cost per deal. Like I don't even want to tell you because you're going to go buy a bunch of signs, but
no.
I get a good deal. Like I could literally, it's like less than $2,000.
Yeah.
And I get a deal worth 10 to 20 to 40. One that I just did the other day was an $80,000 deal from one of those signs.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So can you tell everybody what you did? Because I remember that conversation and that really triggered me. What did you do? Okay, what do you do in regiment to put signs up? What is your regimen? Because I remember you going over me. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. How you did putting signs up.
I mean, you could do it. So basically, I don't know. Everyone says I'm a wholesaler. Really, I'm a marketer. I think everything. I don't care where you're at in real estate, whether you're the best contractor, you got $1 million you want to put to work. Like you need a deal, right? Well, the deal comes from marketing. Unless you're going to buy one or get one from an agent or another wholesaler, where you're going to pay someone 20 to 100 grand or 10 to 100 grand. So like I'm just a marketer. Like I try to do everything I do really good, whether it's a bandit sign, whether it's something as old and archaic as a freaking sign on the side of the road. Like if you look at my signs, like, I put my website on my sign too. I don't know anyone else that does that. Yeah, it says kindhousebuyers.com across the bottom of my sign. And I get leads from that because people, everyone else just says we buy houses and like, no company name, no nothing. It makes them not look credible. And I get people to call me and said, hey, I saw your sign and I'm giving you a call. And I'm looking, they called me on my website phone number, not my bandit sign number. So they saw my sign, they went to my website, and then they saw that I was credible and then decided to call. So, I mean, just that one little thing, adding on my website, putting my phone number really big. If you see there's so many signs and it's, this big of a sign, and their phone number is this big.
Right.
And I'm like, man, you're looking over 2-3 lanes of highway. I can't read that. No one's going to be able to read that. So I made it as wide. I even stretched it, right? So like, it looks a little out of proportion, not quite, but it was as big as I could get it, and my phone number, repeating digit, 533-9999. Because it's a, on the side of the road kind of deal. You want to, get that number fast, try to get it in your phone, if you're not taking a photo of it or whatnot. But, just those, few little tiny things. And then where you post the signs, how often, the cadence, all that stuff kind of matters. Even the colors, really, it kind of matter. But, yeah, I'm telling you guys, if you want to get a deal, go put some signs out. They work. And some places I know are not as friendly as others. Like they have sign police and they'll try to give you fines and stuff. My best advice there, maybe don't put your website, or put a website that doesn't link back to you, and a phone number that doesn't link back to you, because they can't fine you if they can't find you. But just throwing that out there.
Right. So I remember you saying how like you would get up super early in the morning and put up a whole bunch of signs, basically on like a Friday night or something like that, or the wee hours, and put up signs so that and then take them down if need be, you know, on a Sunday afternoon or something like that. And you kept on doing it, but you kept on getting a lot of leads from that. And I thought that was really intriguing. Like I said, I was so new to the wholesale game. I didn't know, but I think it was still intriguing how you had that discipline to get up so early in the morning and put up signs so that, and then take them down, and you tracked everything too.
I would do it at like 1 a.m. on a Saturday night. It was basically Sunday morning. That's when I realized was the least amount of traffic out there, where I could literally just jump out of my truck while it's parked on the side of the road, go and staple up a sign, jump back in my truck. Because if I tried to go out right now, I'd be like, you know, I barely get anything out there. I'd be trying to pull into parking lots, running, hitting the little thing to cross after, you know, with signs, looking like an idiot. So yeah, I did, you know, and other people just wouldn't do it, right? I just tried to do things that other people wouldn't do, like go out at 2 a.m. Honestly, I stopped putting up my own signs. I got a girl now who pay her $15 an hour, and she crushes it. She does super good job. And they're even like better and more robust than when I was doing it. Like, but yeah. Those are the good old days.
So now you're scaling because now you can have somebody else do it. And now you have more time to do income producing activities for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. So, you know, let's go back what we had talked about earlier. Because of your success and things like that, and a couple of weeks ago, I saw a Facebook post from Keith with a picture of St. Thomas, and he had like it was a beautiful, beautiful view of the city. I loved it, and just wanted to, you know, can you just tell some of the benefits because of your success that has attained for you over the last, you know, let's say the last year or so, places you've been to?
I mean, it is fun being able to travel, right? Like when you, I don't know, being my own boss, you know, I don't have only 2 weeks of vacation a year. I don't have to like ask, hey, boss, I have a dentist appointment. Like you know, I got freedom. I can do whatever I want. Like I did take a 3-day and like just went to St. Thomas. I think like within 2 weeks from there, I went to Texas for a wedding. And then where did I go? And then I just recently went down to Seaside, Oregon and hung out. I'm training for some crazy dumb, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing a 455-mile bike ride across the state of Iowa, and that's in 3 weeks. And then 2 days after I get back from that, I'm going to Chicago for another wedding. But yeah, I like to travel. It's fun. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I think, but I'm not gonna lie. I worked a lot of hours in the beginning. Like when I was doing 2 a.m. bandit signs, like not getting a lot of sleep, I was working 60-hour weeks. Now I'm down to like, I get 20, 30, and I'm closing way more deals with way less stress. But it took me a long time. It took me a while to get there. And I understand too, like, you know, with me saying, oh, I was at the top of Google, that took a long time. There's a lot of ways to get deals for cheap, where it's, you know, you got more time than you have money. So you're just grinding away using your time and your energy, whether it's cold calling or texting or knocking on doors or, you know, putting up signs or, you know, whatever it is. It's definitely a hustle in the beginning, but it's totally worth it. Like, I mean, Aaron, how long did you buy that duplex? Like a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's appreciated like 70 grand plus in a year.
Yeah, it's appreciated a little bit, not that much,
Like,
a little bit.
yeah, but you know, just that, you know, it was a sacrifice probably to do it and to move and get your family, you know, over there, you know, but it was worth it. And now you're ready to do it again. And next time you do it, it's going to be easier because you know the process and you know how to do everything, and you know. But
Right. Absolutely. So I have two more questions I'm opening up to the attendees to ask. So you said, you know, you have like basically a 20, 30-hour work week. What is a typical day for you now? Like from the time you wake up to now when you go to bed?
oh my gosh, today I did dishes like a peasant. And I spent about 45 minutes with my assistants. I have 2 virtual assistants in Honduras. Kind of told them, gave them a big game plan, you know, what the direction I want them to go, what they're going to be doing today, but also for like the next 2 weeks. had that little call. I rode my bike for a little bit. I got a little trainer, so I could actually ride right here at my computer, which is kind of cool. I rode 60 miles. My legs are killing me. And then I went on an appointment in Roy for a horse property. I'm back here talking to you. But as far as work, it was a 45-minute call, one appointment to Roy, and then if you call this work.
So I remember, the times I'll see you on Facebook, you would get up around like what, 6, 7, 5 o'clock in the morning and work out at the Stadium High School.
Yeah, I was doing that a lot. I've been having to ride bikes though, because I am not prepared to do a 500-mile bike ride across the state of Iowa in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think one thing for me is I can't speak for anybody else. So Kenneth, this don't mind me when I say this, but with all the sports that I played, and then especially being in the military and the PT that we did, I'm a bike rider now, man. I'll get on a bike. Like if I go to LA Fitness, I'm on a bike. I'm not running. I'll play basketball a little bit, but I'm not running, man. All the time I don't mess my knees up, and so I feel you on the bike stuff, man. I'm not. A couple of another guys said, man, I can't run anymore, man. My knees. So yeah, we get on bikes and do stuff on bikes. I don't run anymore.
Well, I took on that bicycle. I don't know did you know I got hit by a truck back in December?
No.
Okay, so I was doing a bike riding challenge with Trevor Mock, and this is the second challenge.
Oh man, Trevor Mock. Okay, and Trevor Mock is the guy in charge of Carrot.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Carrot. And well, the first challenge, he challenged me to do 100 push-ups in a row by adding one more every day.
Yeah, remember that? Yep.
And there was 15 of us, and I was the only one that finished it. And I didn't think I could do it. I don't know how. I just I thought my body was going to give out. I'm like, I've never done more than 45 push-ups in a day, but I just did one more every day. That was the thing. You should do as many as you can in 60 seconds, which I don't know. You guys are some of your military people I only did 27 in 60 seconds. Wasn't a lot. It wasn't. And then the next day I did 28, and the next day I did 29. Until I actually got up to 100. I did it live on Facebook. I did Facebook Live of me doing that, and I ended up doing 112 or something, which was pretty cool. But anyways, Trevor invited me, I was like, man, I need to do another challenge. Dude, I was actually thinking about doing one. It's I was going to do calendar club style, ride one more mile for the month of December. So December 1st, easy, ride 1 mile. December 2nd, 2 miles. So, Christmas, you got to ride 25 miles. The next day, 26. Well, on December 21st, I got hit by a truck next to the Emerald Queen Casino. And so I actually did not finish that challenge. I got tore rotator cuffs and stuff. But so anyways, got a new bike, and I got a buddy that asked me to do this ride with him because he said it was on his bucket list, and I couldn't say no. So that's this is my new challenge, is riding 455 miles in a week.
Well, thank God, man, that you're okay, man. I did not know that at all, man. I'm thankful that it could be so much worse,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm always super lucky, super blessed. Yeah. Everything always works out.
You wasn't going down that long hill close by Emerald Queen, right? Because you was going down there.
I live at the top of it. I kept doing circles, and I'm like, man, I'm 8 miles. And it's raining so hard. I'm soaked to the bone and frozen. It's December 21st, and the biggest rainstorm I think I've ever saw. I waited all day for the rain to clear, so I go do my bike ride, and it wasn't clearing. So I'm screw it. I just went out there anyways. And I'm out there, and I'm like, babe, I'm doing circles up here, but it's still hilly and weird. And I'm just going to go down the hill and come back down towards the port. And then you drive down the hill and pick me up. Right. And so she was literally leaving the house to come pick me up. I only had 2 miles left. And some guy just no blinker on anything. I'm on the sidewalk, and he just turned in and hit me. I had my headlight on, I was on the sidewalk, and he just boom. And no insurance, probably a drug addict, dirtbag, but whatever. It is what it is. I could have been.
Wow, man, that's crazy. I know that. I used to go up and down that hill all the time. I used to go to basketball practice, and then also my kids love going down that hill. Right close by the community center. So I know exactly what hill you're talking about, man. That's crazy, man. Thank God you're okay, man. Wow, that's crazy, man. Wow. So last more question, and I'll open up for people to ask you questions. Um, well, two more because I asked you what is um, what is what is next for you? Is there anything else that you are trying to get into as far as real estate, or you just want to stick? Okay. So let me backtrack because it's let me backtrack. One thing that you like to do is subject to. Why you like subject to so much?
I mean, you're using someone else's credit to take over a property. I think it's pretty cool. And then if you take over that property, so you basically owner finance and owner finance. And then I'm making money. So I got like, for example, I got one in Port Orchard kind of recently, and I got the seller to agree to give it to me for it was 168 all in, and now she owed 163, and I gave her $5,000 cash and took over the loan. So I gave her paid the mortgage that month, and then I found a buyer. I didn't do anything to the house. And this house, drywall was tore down. Like it needed a new roof. It needed a lot of work. All I did was have me and Katie and two other people just get all the trash out. That was it. Just trash out, nothing. And then I sold it to a guy. So I had $5,000 out plus $1,700 in closing costs. And I sold it to a buddy for 15 grand down at 6% interest when I took over her loan at 3.25. So I'm making like $300 a month now. So I got all my dollars out of the deal plus 10,000. And then now I'm making $300 a month, 350-ish something a month off the cash flow or just from the note. And it's not even my note.
Right.
But I have no responsibilities as a landlord. You know, if the toilet breaks, it's their fault. They fix it. They're responsible for the roof. They're responsible for everything. And if they don't pay one day, like everybody called me today and said he had the mortgage because it's the first. And but if he didn't pay, I take it back and I redo it. So I have $0, zero credit, nothing into the deal, but I still make money as a landlord. And whenever he sells or if he like refis or retails out of it, I get the difference between the two notes, right? Because I got it at 168 and sold to him at like 210. Yeah. And so, it's paying it down slowly, like not a lot because of the interest, but I'll end up if he decides not to do anything and just keeps making payment for 28 years, I'll make like 150 grand off the deal. Again, with not one of my own dollars in the deal. So that's why I like it.
Kenneth asks, who has the title?
So what I do with these is I put them in a trust. So it's in a trust because, you're at risk of the whole due on sale clause. The seller's not supposed to sell a house without telling the lender, or the lender has the right to call the note due, and basically the note's due in 60 days, right? Or 30 days or whatever. But there's no rules in any mortgage that a seller cannot put a property in a trust. So the property is now in a trust, and she signs all beneficiary rights over to me. So her name's still on there, but I get all the benefits of home ownership without being a homeowner. Not being a homeowner, but basically what it is at that point you're selling like personal property. You're selling. It's like same with an LLC, right? Like you could lock up a property in an LLC. You can't assign, like, let's just say a bank-owned property. You can't assign it, but you could sell the LLC. So it's like a way to wholesale bank-owned properties. Yeah. So yeah, I put them in trust. And what that does is it stops the due on sale clause. And then also stops the whole like Dodd-Frank Act thing where you're not allowed to originate a mortgage on because at that point I'm not like originating a mortgage. I'm selling interest. I'm selling personal property. I'm selling interest in a trust to the end buyer. So if that makes sense.
All right, last question for me, and then I'm gonna open up for attendees. So what is next for you? What's the next thing for you? Are you continue to do it? Because I know how much you love wholesaling, but is anything else that you're trying to get into with real estate?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to hold more properties. I definitely like to hold more properties. You know, I got a fourplex and a couple other ones, but I could hold a lot more, and I should hold a lot more, and I want to hold a lot more. You know, I can make just as much money in a year off of 6 big transactions as you could off of 60 small ones. So why do 60 small ones, right? My problem is, no, not a problem. It's just I've been marketing to single family, and that's just what I have set up, and I haven't shifted yet. You got to start marketing to other people. You got to market to the multifamily or the commercial or whatever you want to do, development deals. Because I mean, a little multifamily come into play every once in a while. Like I randomly got a lead today for fourplex in Olympia, but I'm not going after targeting fourplex, fiveplex, 16. But I met a guy yesterday at a Tacoma meetup. And you weren't there. I don't know if you got there.
I saw the post late. I didn't see the post.
It was really good. It was really good. There's this guy Cody there. And there's this guy Cody. He's like literally like 10 years younger than me, and he owns like I don't know how many doors, like 100 doors or something stupid. And like he's like he didn't. Everyone thinks you got to graduate in a multifamily, and even like I still have that weird limiting belief. But he started in doing multifamily. He's like, go do it. I was like, will you teach me? He's like, call me. I was like, and honestly, I'm just thinking this. I told him I'd call him today. I better call him after this because I'm gonna get this little kid to teach me.
Well, yeah, I think there's something we can talk about as well because I'm into large multifamily, and there's a couple of things I do want to talk to you about off screen about it. So I'll tell you what I'm up to as well.
Definitely multifamily, and also I'm a big fan of mobile home parks. I think they're freaking awesome. I think they're way cool. You got your cash on cash return. They're not sexy, but your cash on cash is high with a lot less overhead, especially if the trailers and units are owned by the tenants,
right?
Because then you have no maintenance, just the utilities and but once those are in, they're usually pretty good.
Right. And I think, like you said, it's limiting beliefs because a lot of people don't think that's a good thing right there. But I think that people are starting to come more and more about mobile home parks, but still, it's still a limiting belief. Listen to a story from a guy named Hunter Thompson. He had a mobile home park, and he had did like a luncheon for 30 credit investors. And what happened was he gave a great presentation, and at the end of the presentation, he asked everybody to give money, put a napkin, and then as they was leaving, he got 0 people to invest in it because people didn't have that mindset that mobile home parks is a real profitable. Even though the numbers look good, they still had their limited belief. So you got to change mindsets with that realm right there. But it's very profitable, and people like Brandon Turner are into it big time. So it's already a good thing. But let me open this up to attendees. Kenneth, go and ask the first question.
Hey Keith, great story. You mentioned in sort of the beginning that you don't really consider yourself a wholesaler, like more of a marketer. You mentioned several like different, I don't know, avenues or paths, like the website, the bandit signs. What was your best way to keep track of metrics of what was working and what wasn't? Like, because I saw you mentioned like they called off the website phone number versus the bandit site phone number, and what ones were working best. What ones would work best for you? How many different?
How many what?
How many different funnels did you have? You had the bandit signs, the website, the word of mouth. I don't know if you did like search engine stuff or Google ads or anything like that.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was very limited with my budget and how sophisticated I was. So I didn't know really what was working all that great in the beginning. At that point, I had 2 phone numbers. One was my website phone number, and one was my bandit sign phone number. Those were like my 2 things. And I was like, I'm gonna get a lead from one of them. But so to answer your question though, the way I kept track was basically through phone numbers. Those, especially when you're starting off, that's probably your easiest way. I use a company called CallRail. I think it starts at like $40 a month. I don't know. It's been a while since I don't know if it went up but it starts off, you get 10 phone numbers you get access to 10 different phone numbers. So you can now, get as many as you want. I'm still real simple. I don't have a ton, but yeah. So if I would put one phone number on my Craigslist ads, right? So then I would put another phone number on my bandit signs, another phone number, even on like Facebook but yeah. So basically, and what was cool about CallRail is it'll all forward straight to your cell phone. You can change like call flows, like who the number goes to. You could turn it off so people can't call you at 1 a.m. It'll go straight to voicemail, and pick your hours. But yeah, that was the best way, especially when you're first starting out. Later, if you start doing like a lot of online stuff, it's really hard to do an attribution, like a real good one. Because let's just say someone clicks on my Google ad, right? That's the first time they ever went to my website. They clicked on my Google ad, which cost me like $100 because cost per clicks are insane right now. And then they see my website. They're like, that sounds cool. Oh, the kid's crawling on me, shuts the phone, But then a week later, they're on Facebook and they see my ad again. And then they fill out the form on Facebook. Where did it come from? Google or Facebook, right? So it's like, it's hard to attribute exactly where they come from all the time. And that'll happen a lot online as you start, building yeah, I don't know. I hope that answered some of your question. Okay, good. Anyone else?
I have a couple others if no one's.
Go for it.
You mentioned like the Texas property and the flood sort of got you out of taking title, but now you're doing a couple more. I heard the phrase like wholetailing, where you actually take title, like remove garbage, fix it up, and then either flip it or I like straight or So are you more on that model now, or are you still strictly just straight wholesaling and signing contracts, or are you actually taking title?
I have taken title. I took title of one like last month. I bought in Idaho. And then the problem with that is, and people say it's cool, wholetailing. I really care about my online reputation. The lady today at the Roy House said that she saw my website and how many amazing reviews I got. Her daughter actually did the research because they're not really computer savvy, but they saw all my awesome reviews. And that's why they called me. So when I sold that Idaho house, I bought it on a Friday, put it on the market on Monday, and got $50,000, or listed at $50,000 what I got. The seller saw that and was pissed. Like the seller was like, "What the hell?" Like I was like, "Ma'am, I told you I was buying it as an investment. Like, why are you mad?" Like she was not having it. She was upset, like yelling, and there was no calming her down. I'm like, damn. And then I got another house the other day that was a killer deal. Like I gotta put that on the market and probably got like 80, 90 grand above. But that family also said that I was a blessing to their family and they were so thankful for me. And I'm like, God, it would break their heart if they saw that I put it online the next week for $100,000 above what I got it for. So I wholesaled it to my buddy and I made 40 grand really fast. And so I love the idea of wholetailing, but I don't know. That's my only drawback is if the seller sees what you just did, they don't like that.
Anybody else got a question besides Kendall? Because I know Kendall got some more questions to ask.
I have a question. So, yeah, great points. Thank you. I love that what you said about having a business and marketing being so important. But I have a question about like your mindset. When you said at the beginning it was hard, you worked many hours. How did you like move forward after like setbacks? Did you know this was like gonna work? Did you know in your heart this was it? Or can you elaborate on that?
I mean, it had to work. So a lot of the reason why I was doing so many hours because I was building and learning at the same time. Like I didn't know about I didn't even know about pay-per-click. I didn't know about Facebook. I knew bandit signs and calling and Craigslist, right? So I'm learning while I'm still trying to get more deals. I'm throwing a ton of money at things that I didn't know what would work or not. Like I bought, those little ads on the shopping carts as you're pushing the cart and you see right there, like, I put my, I spent $12,000 on those. Like, I could have just lit that $12,000 on fire. It would have done the same for me in my business. It didn't do anything. So it's a lot of trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't. But as I don't know, I always say that, sometimes I win and sometimes I learn. Like, you don't really lose, you learn something from everything. And so I got a lot of experience now that I tell people all the time, like a new wholesaler calls me or anyone, I'm just like, hey, hit me up, man. I've done enough things wrong to know what to do right. And if I could stop you from making some of the same mistakes I made, I'm happy to do that. But I didn't really know that it would work. Like, especially because one thing so I didn't really mention in the beginning is I started with my friend in Texas. So I'm up here behind my computer doing everything I can, sending leads, setting appointments for my partner down in Texas. So I'm in Washington, he's in Texas. I'm just doing anything I can from the computer. He's running around, title company, appointments, showing the houses. And so I remember I'm like, all right, well, he's getting busy. He just bought a second mobile home park. I'm setting all appointments he's forgetting to go to. And I'm like, man, I'm spending all this time, energy. And then now I'm getting hamstrung, kind of I'm at a ceiling because he's not going to work any farther. I can't work harder to make more money because he's just stopping me at this point. I mean, I love him to death. I love him to death. He's still my brother. But at that point, it just wasn't working for me. So I'm like, I got to start something. So I'm like, I'm going to start up here in Washington. I'm going to, kind house buyers. That was a good ring to it. Let's make kind house buyers a thing. And I didn't have a lot of money because I was working for him for peanuts. He was a good negotiator. I wasn't. And I was using all my savings and blah, blah, blah. So I maxed out my credit card, buying bandit signs and doing some other stuff. And it basically had to work. But, there was a lot of trial and error. I remember and just learning. I feel all confident. I got up to the first appointment I got. I'm like, yeah, I got an appointment. This looks like a deal. I'm going to go there. And the seller asked 120. And I knew I had to be at 90. And I'm like, I didn't know how to negotiate. Beto did all the negotiating. I knew how to get the phone to ring. I didn't know how to negotiate with anyone. And so then I'm like, anyways, just the whole negotiating and talking to people was a huge learning curve for me. But I mean, it's definitely worth it. And it's changed my life tenfold. And, I was always super shy and timid. And I'm an introvert at heart. I do not like talking to people unless it's something I know a lot about and I'm passionate about, this kind of stuff. And if I could help someone get out of their shitty 9-to-5, because I know a lot of people that have a shitty 9-to-5 and they bitch about their shitty 9-to-5 every day and go drink all weekend to forget about their shitty 9-to-5. But then they go back on Monday to their shitty 9-to-5. And I'm like, sorry for cussing and everything. But, if I could help someone to actually give them the confidence, hey, you can do it. You can get out of that if you really wanted to. There's a lot of opportunities. And not even, do it if you want to 100%. You don't have to get out. But let's just say you close an extra 3 deals a year or 4, a deal a quarter. You do 1 deal every 3 months and it's an extra 10 grand on the low end, right? So what would $40,000 a year do to you and your family?
Good selling point, man. Good selling point.
So true. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question. So now that you have gone through all those ups and downs, what are some of your major challenges in your business now, or maybe looking at it the next way? What will bring the most ease in your business at this point in time?
Honestly, I still have, I have a weird problem internally. I don't like having a ton of responsibility. Not responsibility, responsibility holds a big heavy weight on my shoulder. Just when I tell a seller their house is sold, it's done, it's gonna get done. I don't just say, oh, sorry, I couldn't do it, and back out. I've sold every single deal except for 1, and that's because the seller didn't want to go any further. And I'm like, okay, Like I work, that's a big responsibility. And so basically that's a real long way of saying like, I also like, I don't have any employees, like real employees. I have a couple virtual assistants in Honduras and, they work their butts off for me and I pay them, a good wage for where they're at, but like, it's not a huge overhead for me. And I don't have the weight of knowing that I have 3 guys and I'm feeding their family. And if I get hit by a bicycle or by a truck and I don't want to work for a month and a half, then now they're like not eating for a month and a half either, yeah. So basically some of it's just internal. It's, knowing that I could be a better leader, right? Knowing that I could, like actually even spending a whole 45 minutes with my virtual assistants this morning and telling them this is the direction we're going to go today. And this is the path I want to go for the next 2 weeks. That was kind of big for me because a lot of it's just in my head and actually spitting it out and getting the processes out on paper and making it like, so they know exactly what to do, their expectations. So they're not hanging because sometimes I get busy. The phone just starts ringing and they're, Keith, come here. Keith, I need this. Hey, come look at this house. They're like, title company needs this and addendum. I just get pulled in all these directions and I forget, wait, I need to be a leader. But at the same time, I'd have to hire more people to be a better leader. But yeah, I guess if I really wanted to take it to like the next level, it would have to increase a lot of my leadership skills and go from that. I'm really good at motivating myself and people tell me I motivate the shit out of them, but I want to be a leader of men.
Next question was, can you describe some of the systems you have used to drive your deal flow?
So to drive my deal flow, one of the coolest systems, especially since I'm kind of like a one-man show, like
I was really snoring. Like
what is
Let's go with that question, please.
So one of like the best tools that I've used is, and I'm not saying to go out and get it right now, but once you start getting leads and you need to talk to people, like, you might get a few leads now, let's just say you get a lead a week and that doesn't sound like a lot, but then after, the deals are in the follow-up. Some of the deals I closed like, a month ago started from a year ago talking to the person. So you need to keep following up with people because it's all about timing and circumstance. Like, Keith, yeah, I'm kind of behind on my mortgage, but I don't know, like, what would you offer? And I'm like, oh no, Keith, I can't take that. Okay, definitely, have a blessed day. Hope everything works out. Well, if I keep following up 6 months, now they're really behind on their mortgage and they're about to lose it. They're like, Keith, come save me. But if I wouldn't have followed up, they would have just gone on the phone book or on Google and found the next person. But since you keep following up, so that tool that I'm getting at, I'm sorry, I know that was a real roundabout way of saying, like an automated follow-up system, like CRM, like I have like my CRM, I have a button, it's like cold lead follow-up. And it's like, hey, Mr. fill in the blank, and just rattles off a little, a little message, and then another one. But yeah, a lot of automated follow-ups, especially people that say they're not interested. Email and text, it just will keep dripping on them sporadically or the cadence that you choose.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't like following. Like I said, I don't really like talking to people. I don't like talking to people that aren't interested. And so they keep on getting messages from me and then they call me when they are interested.
Right.
And then I'm only talking to the interested people.
Ken, have you got another question for him?
Well, I'm pretty sure I heard it wrong, but because of the audio, whatever. But it was something about biking 450 miles across Iowa. Is that correct?
Did he freeze?
It's
Okay, go ahead, Keith. I thought you froze for a minute, Keith. Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe we have bad connection. So maybe you had a bad connection before because I thought I heard 450 miles biking across Iowa.
Yeah, that's what.
Why?
I guess there's this big. It's been happening for like I think 25 plus years. It's this like famous ride. I never heard of it until this year, My buddy said he wanted to do it, and it's on his bucket list. I guess any big biker has heard of this. I told the guy that works on my bike at the bike shop that I was going, and he's like, "What? That's a bucket list ride." I'm like, "That's the second time I heard this." Like, I don't know what I'm doing now, but yeah, it's like 80-mile days and 60. If you look up, it's called like Ragbri. It's like RAGBRI.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat, Kenneth. It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You can see the route. You can probably follow me. If you hit me up on Facebook, I'm gonna do like live streams and stuff. And yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, follow Keith on Facebook. He's a good follow right there. So follow Keith Sant on Facebook.
Okay. Anyone else?
Okay. So how can anybody get in contact with you, Keith? They want to learn more.
Yeah, definitely. Facebook, Messenger. You could email me at keith@kindhousebuyers.com. It's KIND housebuyers with an S.com. Or you can call me, cell phone, 253-293-9789. And it's probably the fastest way to get a hold of me. But
we got to set up another time. We have another luncheon, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wish, I don't know what all you guys are up to, or, if I could help anyone in any certain, like,
is there a way to connect with a group of people and go in on a deal to start? You gotta, I don't know who the iPhone is, but you gotta be more specific. What kind of deal are you talking about? You talking about like multi-family? You talking about single family? You gotta let us know, and then we can direct you in that path. Multi-family. So, all right, Ken, it was good talking to you, man. Yeah, so there's a gentleman on here that puts information in here. Connect with Jim Biggs. Jim is on here, and if you want to get into large multi-family, then talk to Jim, or just talk to us. We all part of the GOB network on here. So anybody, if you want to learn more, contact me, and we can talk afterwards and go from there. So if you could, please put your contact information in here as well, so that we can I can connect with you, and we can go from there. But anybody mostly on here are mostly multi-family investors. So Lawrence and Mark, they're all multi-family investors. So, and others, Claudia. So if you want to learn more, just contact us. But Keith, man, thanks a lot. I know that we're gonna have a phone call afterwards, because there's a couple of things I do want to talk to you about, and like I said, the new venture I'm getting into. So I definitely want to get your insight on that one as well, and then also talk about large multifamily to you as well. So, man, but thank you, man. You've been a great guest. You can, if you want to leave or you stick around. We have breakout rooms in a little bit. We'll probably have like 2 different sessions of breakout rooms, and then we'll go to the after party for the people who is left.
Okay. Okay,
cool. So let me go to roll call. Roll call is when I discuss different real estate groups you can get a part of for free and learn a lot of information. So let's start with the group I'm part of, the GOB network. If you want more information about the GOB network, please contact me or others on here. It's GOB network for apartment investors. Great organization. A lot of free content you'll get, and the networking is awesome. And we have many meetups like this that you can attend, like Mark Caesar's, like Chicago GOB network one on Sundays. Vinky's having her networking call tomorrow. So if you want more information, go to gobnetwork.com or just contact one of us to get information. You have to get an invite to be part of GOB, but it's a great way to join. Jim, is anything else I can add to it?
Caught me in the middle of a sandwich, Aaron, but no, that's great, great stuff. Yeah, reach out to anyone on the network, especially Aaron, and get any additional information you want, or also visit the website gobnetwork.com.
Okay, cool. Also, also, I'm starting with civilians. Usually I start with military, but I start with civilians. So another thing is biggerpockets.com. Go to biggerpockets.com. You get a lot of free information on there as well. Great forums, great networking. They have a ton of different podcasts you can be part of. So go to biggerpockets.com. I'm gonna try to get Jay Scott to be a guest speaker in the near future. But yeah, go to biggestpockets.com. And also Make Real Estate Real, Jamal King's program. It's $9.99 course, but they go A to Z on all things real estate, and it's a great networking opportunity as well. So go to Make Real Estate Real to learn more. You can go to my website and see all these on my website as well. All these different brands I'm talking about. For military, ADPI is a great military affiliated meetup. Affiliated RIA group you can join. A lot of great information. They have a great podcast, and also they have a multi-family mastermind and Operation Adam, which is to help all different things for military and veterans. White Feathers is based out of California, but it's basically another military affiliated RIA group that you can join. I'm gonna have one of those guys in the future be a guest speaker. And also with me, Kenneth, and Claudia, the War Room Mastermind Group is another great program to join. If you want more information, please contact me about the War Room Mastermind Group. And matter of fact, one of the co-founders, Stuart Gardner, will be my guest speaker next week. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for coming and staying on here. Man, thank you, Keith. And we're going to go to breakout rooms. And one more thing, too, and an organization that basically Keith is talking about is Carrot, carrot.com. So go to Carrot if you want to learn more. Please contact Keith. But that's the engine that really drives him as far as his success is using Carrot. And then also you can check out Keith on the Carrot podcast that he's been on twice. So, check out carrot.com if you're interested in having your own website.